Morning everybody. So my name's Lisa Laws. So what myself and Lisa have tried to do today is you'll get a lot of talks that talk about the benefits of SGRT, which are amazing. But what we wanted to do was do a little bit about the staff. What do they think about SGRT? What do they think of the benefits? How do they feel about using the system? So this is our staffing at the moment at Royal Preston Hospital. We've got 7 Linacs, 6 with Align RT, 2 scanners, 1 with SIM RT. Quite a large staff group, and approximately at the moment half of them are trained in Align RT and some on SIM RT. So what we wanted to do from the very beginning was engage our staff. That was a key aspect. We got a multidisciplinary group together from Band 5 upwards to get everybody's input, physicists, engineers, doctors, just to make sure this project went smoothly. Education sessions were delivered before we even installed any of the systems by Lisa, just to let everybody know what was coming, what were the benefits for the patients, and what were the benefits for themselves. And then back in August last year, a group of super users, physics, engineers, radiographers, went down to Basingstoke. I think we were the first people to use the suite down there for the training. One of the super users, we brought one of our Band 6s, because again, it's all very well Lisa and I going, this is what we think is best for the department, but the people that are working on the machines were the people we wanted to engage. We've successfully used the Align RT online learning profile. Every member of staff has to go through the portal, do all the modules prior to even touching the equipment, because we wanted them to have a good rounded knowledge of what they were going to be using. So staff training, I think it's really important. If you want your staff engaged, the training needs to be good. So we use the, like I said, the Align RT portal. We've had a lot of support from the team, and we've had 3 sessions of apps training, which we tried to get as many staff on as possible. But what we also do is we get our staff on supernumerary so they can have a good look at the equipment, see how everybody's using it before we go live or they start treating patients. It's supported by a lot of documents, as you can see there. We've got a very robust training manual. We have a competency for the equipment. We have a competency for each site, so people are aware of the knowledge they need and how they should be using the system. And we have produced a guidance note, which was on the back of a visit to the Christies, so thank you to the Christies, empowering our staff to not have to call the leads and the super users to come and help them if there's an issue. So it goes step by step through everything you need to do if there's a problem for the patients and you're struggling with the Align RT. So this is our go live timeline. We had all 6 machines in the SIM RT installed between October and beginning of January, which was quite quick. 7 systems, wasn't easy to work around, but we did it. We treated our first patient on the 4th of January, and by 100 clinical days, I think I've got that right, all of our breasts were SGRT and tattoo-less, which we're quite proud of, that we're able to offer that to our patients. And we had quite a lot of feedback from the first patient. She even went on telly for us to say how amazing it was. The fact she didn't have tattoos. She didn't actually know she was having SGRT till the day she walked in, and we told her, but she was very happy with it. We've just expanded our service to do radical thorax. There was a little bit of a gap because our department's going through quite a big change at the moment. Machine installations, Paperlight, KV imaging, you name it. So we've chucked quite a lot of our staff. So we thought we'd give them a little bit of a break in between before we moved on. So just a bit of data, even though we said we'd talk about the staff. Treatment room times, I haven't got some pre-on-the-bed SGRT times, so it's mainly treatment room times, so it does include the imaging, any chats or anything like that, have reduced for every single site we've implemented, and we do have a range of imaging, KV planar, MV imaging, cone beam imaging. The only one that hasn't changed is the photon breast boost, but what has changed is the ability to review the images. The image review is a lot quicker. Repeat imaging. So obviously with our KV planar and our MV imaging, we do a confirmatory image if we download moves. We've had quite a big reduction in the amount of patients that needed moves downloaded, especially for our 3-field breast. So that's a 31% reduction in the amount of images that we take. So I know that's quite a busy slide, but I just wanted to show that our pre-SGRT displacements, now for our patients that have cone beam, we do an absolute correction daily. So these displacements are rectified, but you can see that for our AP and our left-right, the displacements have reduced quite significantly. The only thing we have noticed is on our photon breast roots and our radical thorax, our supinf displacement has increased very slightly, but that's just a bit of something we can get our teeth into having a look why. But as I say, we do download those moves so the patients do get an absolute correction for the treatment. And then just lastly, I'd like to echo what Victoria said. Shabna bras, they were an absolute nightmare before SGRT, and we were told you're probably not going to be able to use them, but we've quite successfully used the Shabna bras, and sometimes those patients could be on the bed for about 45 minutes to an hour. We've got it down to about 20 minutes, would you say? And we did have a quick look at our rescan rates for our breasts, and from 2022, pre-SGRT, to now, we've had a 33% reduction in rescans, so that's helped quite a lot with our scanner capacity for our patients. So I'm just going to pass on to Lisa now.
So as Lisa said, staff engagement was really key in our implementation plan. And we checked in with the staff constantly at different aspects through the training and the go live. But we wanted to give them a chance to give us some confidential feedback. So we sent the survey to all of the SGRT staff trained in treatment and pre-treatment. We had a 98% response from our treatment team and 100% response from our pre-treatment team. So we wanted to know what the knowledge base was before we went live. And from the treatment team, it was a bit of an understanding, and it was nice to see reflected was in the in-house education sessions that we had run. So we wanted to know, did they feel confident going live with the first patient? And I think it's a really positive result back that the training the apps team did prepare them for the first patient. From the staff that we have trained, not everybody uses the system daily, so I just wanted to gauge from the staff that had responded, were they the ones that used it daily, and majority were. And in Preston, we work very much on a competency-based practice rather than a grade. So what I wanted to know is, within the scope of their practice, did they feel confident with using the system? And it's an overwhelming response there, you can see. In the other was some of the comments from the team leads in our problem-solving consistency. So that reflects the other part there. And this is kind of the million-dollar question, isn't it? Do you feel it's easier using Align RT than conventional methods? And look at that, it's a profoundly positive response that we've got back, so brilliant. And then some of the feedback that we'd had going with the staff is what do they feel their benefit is for them as radiographers. And then there's a multitude of mixed stances there, so less manual handling, quicker setup times, better standard of care to our patients. And that's kind of reflected in a little bit about what they thought the response was for the patients, the benefits, again, the manual handling, no permanent marks. And it goes back really to that respect and dignity that we can offer our patients at what is a time that's the worst in their life, and perhaps they don't feel that they have much options there. We're able to give them some support there. And do you think this should be standard of care for our patients? So we have got a high yes response, but at the time the staff were answering this, a lot of it was just based on breast. But I think if I ask that question now, that would even be higher, because I have had staff come and said for some of the palliative patients, it'd be great if we were using that, and come the new year we will be rolling on to palliative patients. So we just wanted to go a little bit deeper into some qualitative responses, and I'm not going to read all of this out, but we wanted to know what their experience was adapting this into daily practice, and also how long people have been qualified, just to see if there was a difference from staff that have been qualified quite a long time. Did they feel it more difficult to adapt? Or actually, conversely, if you've been qualified quite a long time, you've used to various changes in your practice. We were getting quite similar answers back, that the system was easy to use, it was straightforward, the apps training was good, feeling confident with the system. And you can see that there's a range of experiences going on there, from 4 years to 22 years. Again, this is some of the other comments that we'd got back. The system's easy to navigate, application training was good. I really like this comment here, acknowledging that it felt difficult at first to get into the problem solving, but now it feels like it's always been here. And as someone who uses this system daily, I can really testify to that. It feels really alien to me now when I have to go and use tattoos.
So, like Lisa was saying, we got a lot of answers about using the system, how they felt about it. We got some quite specific answers about specific patient groups. The conversation about, I think it's an excellent tool for helping reduce moving and handling strains. I said this yesterday on the panel, for anybody that wasn't there, we've got a number of staff that have got restrictions on manual handling. We can't put them on a breast machine. It's quite difficult organising your rotas when you're short-staffed and people can't work on certain machines, and they're actually coming to us now going, that SGRT, I believe I really need to move the patients. Can I go back on the breast machine? I feel like I've lost my competency. I feel like I'm missing out. I'm not working to my full capabilities. So that has helped us to get those staff back into clinical practice for those patients. Another comment was, once the niggles are worked out, I will be excited to see the future. So at the beginning, obviously, implementation, you've got to work through it. You've got to see what's working, what's not, how you'd like to rectify things using the information that you get from the apps training, but your department itself. And now everybody's like chomping at the bit, what can we do next? So we're currently looking at our faceless masks for our head and necks. Like Lisa said, we're going to be moving to palliative patients because it helps us set the patients up much easier when they're in with lots of immobilisation aids. Going back again to the Shabna bra patients and the DIBH, our system for DIBH was quite archaic, to say the least, using drawing marks on the patient's skin and using the CCTV when you got the patients to breathe up into breath holding. You know, I'm 44 now, can I actually really see where that line is? Is it matching? But and the patients can sometimes take up to like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and we've managed to get them down to, I think we had a bilateral breath hold breast in 20 minutes, which is just absolutely amazing. And the Shabna bra patients, quite, again, difficult to set up, but we've managed to reduce that time the patient's on the bed, and techniques like your IMCs, your 2 and 3 field breaths, just those benefits for the patients not being on the bed as long, but for the staff, for their morale, we're not running behind constantly. Everybody just seems happier. And then the last one is, which is the most important for me, I'm sure one of our physicists wouldn't mind saying she previously had treatment, and the one thing that was a constant reminder was the tattoos, and the fact that we're able to give these patients treatment without those tattoos, that psychological reminder, that makes the staff really happy, and it also makes them happy that they're able to get the patients on the bed, and those ones that need that assistance and take a little bit longer to set up, we can give them that assistance without taking away their dignity. So just go into the SIM-RT, that's a smaller group of staff. Only 40% of them had an awareness of SGRT before we started. And the source of information, again, was from the in-house education sessions and elsewhere. But afterwards, it says, do you feel the on-site applications training prepared you for scanning your first patient? That's quite overwhelming, 80%. And they all think it's much more easier than the way we did it before. It's better for the patient, it's controlled by the patient. They're really quite happy. And they've managed to reduce down their scanning slots now using SIM-RT. Which is reflected in this slide. Do you think it's easy to scan these patients now? Overwhelmingly, 80%. Do you feel confident using SIM-RT? 100%. That's an amazing result for our staff. And then again, obviously they don't treat on set, take images, but for them, what is the benefit? Going back to the no permanent marks for the patients. Although sometimes they do come back to the, do you just want a tattoo? No, we don't want a tattoo. That's what they see as the overwhelming benefit, as well as the manual handling, quicker setup time, able to monitor the patient more, and 45% we're giving a better standard of care to our patients. And this quote's quite nice. DIBH with SIM-RT is very good. Training from the staff was excellent. So I'll just pass back to Lisa.
So I'd just like to focus on a particular group that's had advantages with SGRT, because it's me. It's the team leads. So in Preston, the team leaders, we are responsible for clinical development, problem solving, HR, training, rota, and whatever else you sort of throw at us as well. Historically, onboarding new staff in the breast machines has taken a bit of time because we had sort of 6 to 7 different work instructions for breasts. So I might get staff signed off on one aspect, but not quite another, which meant the efficiency on the team, the staff were swapping in and out while we were supporting new staff. With SGRT, I've been able to breast to be less steppy it's much more straightforward to set up, whether you're doing a 2-field, whether you're doing a 3-field, photon breast, IMC. It's very simplistic, it's the same, and we've reduced it down to a single competency. So now taking a new staff member, I can onboard them and within a week have them signed off on that competency for all of that, so it's really efficient on the treatment machine. And as well, from problem-solving point of view, I have so much data straight there, so I can see the deformation, I can see if FSDs are out very, very quickly, so that makes my problem-solving quicker. As Lisa said, we're very, very keen on developing autonomous practice at Preston. So we have that problem-solving guide so that the staff can do the first-line problem-solvings themselves. And it really gets them focused on what it is we're trying to achieve. If we've got less sort of steps to think about, they're really concentrating on what they're delivering. And I see this now with nodal irradiation. They're really paying attention to the postural video and making sure the shoulders is perfect. And it reflects back into what we were saying earlier about our repeat scans. We had quite a few repeats with the IMCs because if the shoulder position is different, your sternum is different, you are really struggling to match the IMCs. But the staff see this and they're spending the time on the postural video, and so it's absolutely brilliant. Imaging is a huge part of what we do as radiographers, and it isn't something that we spend when the student's doing, so the burden's really on us when they're training. So if I can get the technique easier, I've got more time to spend with new staff to train them, which is great. And as Lisa said, we have staff that haven't been able to work on some breast machines because they've got the most moving and handling, and now they're coming to watch SGRT, they're asking to come back, which is brilliant for them, fulfilling their role, and it means that they're not missing out on development, and it makes our life a lot easier too. So there were 2 staff that I was really keen to get some feedback from. These went in our initial cohort of trainers. They came to us a little bit later. Lauren is 8 years qualified and has worked on a breast machine a while ago and was due to come back to a breast machine, but was quite apprehensive because of the different work instructions we had. We had now with Shabna bras. And so it was really lovely getting her feedback on how easy it was coming back to a breast machine and how SGRT's made it much more streamlined. The breath hold, so those of us that have worked with voluntary breath hold, when you've got RTC, it's just amazing. You know, it's a real game changer. And then the other feedback from Lauren, I do promise there's more than Lisa and Lauren's that work at Preston, we have more names. Lauren was our first ever student to use SGRT, and it really enhanced her learning because she wasn't focused on the steps, she was focusing on the process. What is it we're trying to achieve for this patient? It really helped her learning, and even as a student, she's commenting that she could see it was more accurate, more reproducible. And she graduated, and luckily she came to work with us, and her first rotation was on the breast machine, and I within a week had her signed off, ready to go, and now she's actually completed her imaging. So what an amazing start to her career that she's had, and it's really good to see that reflected back in her testimony. So what else have we done with this information? Looking back on it, as the super users, we really committed to making sure that we're keeping this problem-solving guidance up to date. So as we've rolled on with the thoraxes and different problems, touching in with the Vision RT team, we're committed to making sure that we keep that up to date. We want to expose as many staff to SGRT as we can and prepare them before the training. So we're giving them supernumerary time on the machines that have got SGRT. We've got 3 that are running with SGRT. So that we can get a robust workforce there. We are really committed to listening to the advice from Vision RT and getting the maximum out of the system that we can. So with our lungs, we've been doing surface captures because with the 4D lungs, we were having these short bodies and we had some problems with glitchy ROIs. So day 1, we take a surface capture and we use that going forth. We've also introduced gator captures for lungs, and that's standard, so that's worked really well. Keeping the momentum, keeping the positivity going. we have a real goal. We're very fortunate that we've got so many systems, so we want to offer this to all of our patients. But like all of you, you've got competing resources, new machines, pace, etc., all things that are coming on. We brought this in with the breast and we did Paperlight, we did KV, we threw everything at it. So you can do this with support, with control, you can move this through. And lastly, we've done something that we've not been able to achieve before. With voluntary breath hold, we were never able to do nodal irradiation for our breasts. This lady was planned, so we don't have a VMAT solution at Preston for breasts. This lady's cardiac tolerance was out, so the consultants asked us to take a breath hold, so we did. We did a quick scan acquisition in breath hold, and you can see that she's had very minimal variation. Her chest wall to her cardiac position has been superb for 15 fractions. It's been really great on. And she takes us about 14 minutes to treat, which is actually quicker than our non-breath hold IMCs. And lastly, just thanks. Thanks to Rosemere for the funding. Thanks to the support from Vision RT, Lorna, Shay, Kate. Thanks to the project team. And really thank you to the staff, especially at the early days. We are really proud to come and showcase their achievements. Thank you.